All right guys, good morning, welcome back to the channel here. So as we went through last week, right, did the entire RV6 rear suspension. Drives great, handles so much better. I'll be sure to do a review on everything that I put together all in one video. So on today's agenda, we're getting through more and more of these parts, right, which means there's less and less to put on the Integra, but for this one should be fairly simple and straightforward. It also shouldn't be a very long video by any stretch. So if you guys like the longer form content, by all means, let me know down in the comments. I'll be sure to, kind of try to continue doing that method of it. But for this one, we're gonna go along with the PRL full billet trans mount. And then I also have the rear emblem to delete the chrome, as you guys can see right there, right? That looks, that's really ugly in my opinion. So I want to get rid of that too, finally. We're going to start with this trans mount. Fairly simple application. There's only 2 bolts that hold this guy in, right here and obviously right here at the bottom. We're going to have to take off the, this like an aluminum plate or a little metal plate that's underneath the car that exposes it. Once that's removed, we'll go ahead and take out these 2 bolts and just swap it in. So like I said, not a very hard install by any stretch, but nonetheless could be a little time consuming depending upon where bolt location is, right? So let's just get right into it now. I'm gonna jack up the car and then we're gonna get right underneath it, okay? All right, so the car is fully jacked up. We're about to go underneath it right now. I'm gonna show you exactly what plate you need to remove so that way you can have access to that trans mount, all right? So here we go. This is from the front of the car. You'll see it's the only, little metal aluminum piece that's underneath the car. This in its entirety is going to come out, so I'm going to get that out right now. I have 2 bolts here in the front. There's a screw right here on the side that holds up to this plastic piece, so you got to take it out on both sides. And then the plate itself has a couple screws that you can take out with a flathead. And if I can see one like clear enough for you guys, like this, they look just like this. So there's a bunch of these guys lying around in here as well. So I'm gonna take out the 10 mil bolts, the screws, and then these flathead ones, and we'll drop this down and you guys will see what it looks like underneath, all right? Now we'll be up front. I don't know if these are the bolts I originally took out from here. I think I lost them, but these were 2 that fit in the groove perfect because I ended up hitting this plastic piece on a very forgiving Chicago street pothole, and it actually all bent up and got all crazy. So I just used those 2 screws here because this was still kind of like hanging down. And there's 2 more screws back here, guys. And in case you guys are wondering where they're at, they're back here. I know this isn't the best angle, but it's the very last 2 in the back side of the car. As you can see now, we got the tray removed, right? This is what it looks like with the tray is not there. Our little friend is right back here. So that is the trans mount right there. It's literally just 1 bolt here and 1 bolt back here. So this one is a 19, this one's a 17. That's really it to it, really. So we're gonna get these guys out of here now, and then we'll work on putting in the new guy. So let me get this out of here first though, all right? And by the way, I did loosen these off camera too, so I'm not gonna lie. I answered my own questions. This thing actually lowers down, which is how it comes out. So, all right. You know what? I'm gonna give credit where it's due. Good job, Honda and Acura, for doing that because I was getting ready to talk crap. And you guys made it a little easier, so thank you. So we got the stock motor mount out, and it's a pretty noticeable difference. So here, take a look, guys. As you can see, here is the stock one versus the PRL aftermarket fully billet one. And I mean, just on thickness alone, guys, I mean, if you're talking about build quality, look at this versus this. I believe they call it a wishbone mount, if I'm not mistaken. However, As you can tell, nice, really nice polyurethane inserts that are super tough and rigid, as opposed to like the, you know, the wear and tear of this rubber. If anybody knows about stock motor mounts, especially with Hondas for some odd reason, they go out, and it's the culprit is always they break from this rubber. So this should help out. I hear it helps out with the wheel hop a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing if that's actually true or not, but we're gonna get this guy on the car now. And if you want to even take another look down below what it looks like now without the mount inside, as you can tell, mount is gone, and we're gonna be putting it back in right over here. So let's get it back in and see if how the mod works, right? And just as a final know-how with the installation, this mount is gonna go in as such. So with PRL facing up, I guess the correct way when you would read it. But as you can see on the mount too, there's a thicker part and a thinner part on the sides. The thinner part goes facing downward. So that's how we're gonna put it in, guys, all right? So that's the PRL trans mount. It's finally in. Wasn't difficult at all. I would say it's vastly easier if you put WD-40, some sort of lubricant on the rubber. It took me a couple hits to get it in, and that was pretty much it. So, and hit it with a rubber mallet, by the way. So sometimes you see me hitting things with just a hammer, but no, do this with a rubber mallet so you don't damage anything. But outside of that, it went in fairly simple. Just those two bolts. I got them all tightened up. So we're gonna get the aluminum piece back on and close this all out, right? So no dirt or debris gets in here. But let's go from there, guys. All right, guys, so motor mount's done, right? I figured we'd go on a test drive really quick. I wanna see how this responds with the new mount. And I guess I can speak to now as well with the RV6 suspension on. Maybe you guys will hear some intake noises too. So off the bat, I'm gonna say the shifting already feels a lot smoother. There's literally no vibration whatsoever, which is a good thing, right? While we wait at the light, with the RV6 suspension. So I do feel it tighter. Drive-wise, especially when you get on the throttle, you can definitely feel that the car is, I guess, more planted to the ground, right? That's the first thing I noticed. Second thing I noticed is turning and cornering, vastly more improved. So I won't say how fast, but like I said, when you get on it, you can take a turn now with absolutely no fear whatsoever, which is a really good thing, right? So from that perspective, definitely improved. Is there any negative? I can't say I've come across one yet. I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to adjustments on camber and tow. I'm not gonna lie, that's not my area. But outside of that, I mean, it feels pretty damn awesome. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Now, one of the things that they did say that the mount gets rid of is the wheel hop, which I'm not sure yet. Maybe it needs some time to settle in. But so far, man, it feels really good. I wonder if you replace the other two mounts on the engine side, what effect does that have? Will there be too much vibration in the cabin because it's not in the engine? Who knows? But nah, this feels really good. Just to go back to the RV6 rear suspension, the one thing I did notice that just came to my mind right now, when I get on the throttle, and I say I really get on it, without nothing, right, stock, the car had a tendency to do push to the left, if I'm not mistaken, whenever you really wanted to hit it. I've noticed that with the new suspension on, it kind of pulls to the right. I'm not sure if that's just adjustment on camber and tow, but there's definitely something there. So that's kind of like the only call out. But like I said earlier, I'm not sure if that's just due to my own lack of knowledge around camber and tow, and if it needs to be set a specific way and not you know, I have it, when I got it realigned to stock specifications. Maybe that might have something to do with it. So it's something I have to look into or speak to somebody who's very knowledgeable about that. But other than that, you can do anything with it now. That's the only problem, is that even when you get on throttle, it doesn't hook. It wants to go. You have to let it go to gas, give it gas again. So that is the only downside. Maybe a new set of tires in the front, I am not sure. But outside of that, the trans feels good. It definitely feels like it goes in a lot smoother. Maybe it just needs to settle in like everything else kind of needed to, but all in all, for the price of the PRL motor mount or the trans mount, and for what I feel right now in the car, what you get, you can't beat it. That's probably one of the best investments you can make. And if you want to do modifications to the Type S or your FL5, and it doesn't break the bank. I'm gonna head home so that way I can finish this video for you guys. And then I also want to catch the Dallas versus Celtics game. So let's hope Dallas wins. All right, I'm rooting for Dallas on this one. So that's it for today's episode. We got the PRL trans mount in. I know I said I was gonna put on the rear emblem, but the day just got away from me. So we'll do that on the next one. All right, we'll do that one on the next one. From the little test drive that I did right now, everything felt really, really good actually. Shifting felt better. I know we got into a bit of detail on the RV6 side with the rear suspension. I'll do a little deeper dive into that, but all in all, that suspension as well, car definitely feels way more planted. Everything feels good on the turns, especially when you take them harder. Outside of that though, I can't say I have any complaints. There is one more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I did say that I had a little announcement. Now, you guys know that anybody that is an owner of the FL5 or the DE5, you have to get your car unlocked, right? The ECU has to get unlocked either by HONDATA or a tuner that you trust, that's your preference. I actually found out there's gonna be a HONDATA event taking place here, or not in Chicago, but near Chicago in a suburb. It's not too far out actually, like 35, maybe 40 minutes away from where I live at. Cool thing about it is I get to take my ECU there. They're gonna actually unlock it in-house or at this event, and it's done. I don't have to pay shipping to get it to California. I don't have to send it to some shop in Florida or wherever. I can just do it in-house. So I will be at that event next week, Saturday. I'm gonna try to record as much as I can for you guys. But with that being said, we'll get it unlocked officially next week, which is awesome news. Saves me time of sending the ECU out and waiting back, and then also saves me a lot of money in terms of next day shipping and trying to get it back next day. So next week is gonna be huge. We got that HONDATA event rolling around, get the ECU unlocked. Then I have, as of right now, I'm in 4 different car shows coming up. So the first one is at the end of this month, and then there's a slew of them in July, and then one more in August. I'm trying to get as much exposure I can, not only for the channel, but also for the car itself. So be out. If you're in Chicago and you're gonna be at any one of these shows, I'll post the links down below in the description. But outside of that, that's pretty much it. That was my announcement, right? The HONDATA event's coming. We get to get the ECU unlocked. I get to bring you guys around for it, which I'm excited about as well. I'll end the video on that. Next week, we'll do the HONDATA event. When I get back, I'll put on the rear black emblem so we get rid of that chrome ugly one. And then we'll start working with when we're gonna get the car tuned. I've already spoken to the shop. I'm gonna make one more call to another shop just to see what they are in terms of price range and what it offers, things of that nature. But the dyno is coming soon. And then the last 2 parts that remain to put on, the last 2 big pieces, are the downpipe and the front pipe, and I'm still waiting for both of the blankets to come in. So I had no turbo blanket yet, no downpipe blanket. I'm definitely not putting that on until those get here. So hopefully they get here soon. I'll make a phone call to the company tomorrow, kind of get a status and ETA as to when that's gonna arrive. But other than that, that's pretty much what's gonna be coming up on the pipeline, guys, in terms of videos, right? So next week, HONDATA event to unlock the ECU plus the rear emblem, chrome delete, we'll put on the black one. And then hopefully by that time, these blankets are in so we can get the last of these parts in and get this thing tuned. But at the very least, at least it'll be on that baseline HONDATA map, which does get it more power from what I've seen and heard. I'm gonna end the video on that one, guys. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It definitely helps me out. And as always, cógelo con take it easy, because I'm out.